Welcome to Sarah Sessions, sessions of conversations and insights that heal my soul and give me inspiration. The next session is about freediving with Sheena Reith, and somehow the episode stops at around 29 minutes to restart again. So please be patient, and thank you for your understanding. Enjoy the episode. Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, wherever you are in the world. I hope you have had a wonderful moment till now, and thank you for tuning in. This is Sarah with Sarah Sessions, Conversations That Heal My Soul. I am in Utila, Honduras, and I've been here doing my scuba diving program from Zero to Hero, which I'll talk about on another episode, but I've also been pulled to have this experience with freediving. And I've met this wonderful woman, very fantastic in expressing herself. And we were just having a conversation, and I thought it'd be fantastic for us to I'm so sorry about the bing bings. It would be fantastic for us to have a conversation live. So can you introduce yourself? Because unfortunately, I don't know you enough to be able to introduce you.
Sure. Well, my name is Nina, and I'm from Germany. I left my corporate job in 2018 because I wanted to see the world, as all 28-year-olds do, I guess.
What was your corporate job, if you don't mind me asking?
I'm a graphic designer, so I worked in advertising in an agency, which I really enjoyed. I loved it. I had a great time. Great agency, great people. Worked there for 3 years. I do want to go back sometime, but I started traveling properly when I went to Australia for an exchange semester. I was 23. That was my first big trip all by myself, and I was scared and I didn't know what to expect, but I did end up having the best time, and that just opened up a new world for me. Before, I've been to plenty of places in Europe doing my studies, but just a few days here and there. So after that, I always saved up all my holidays, all 4 weeks. I took them at once, worked the rest of the year to fly to one country of my choice. The first one in South America was Peru, which really captured me. And there I realized, in 4 weeks, you can't do anything. It doesn't really, you
Make
can't
it justice.
No,
right?
not at all. And that's where I was like, okay, at some point in my life, I still want to do a big trip, take time off and go traveling. And yeah, so that's what I did. And one of my first stops, actually my third country, was Honduras, where I started freediving.
Fantastic. And so I've met you. I've been here for a day and a half. Unfortunately, we were rained in, so we weren't able to do our first dive this morning. And the slew of information that I've come to, based by science and the safety measures and so on and so forth, it's just, I found it overwhelming. And I asked you your feedback. And I told you about my anxieties, perhaps, that my kind of reticence, but my knowing that I'll be fine, because I understand the science behind it, and I understand how consciousness just, there's a in-between state that we have to go into, that Zen state. So I'd like you to give me a little more about that and your experience in starting with freediving and how it has impacted your life.
Yeah,
so far.
It's quite interesting how it changed over time. So at the beginning, I just told you in private as well that it was just something new, something really exciting. I haven't learned anything new. Didn't have anything to do with my work in a very long time. And I realized it's really important because we need input. We are human beings. We want to
we have
develop.
Many layers, right?
Yeah, exactly. And so that was quite exhilarating, just trying something new and learning something new. And not just the sports side of it, but also the biological side of it, everything that's interesting about it. I was just soaking everything up like a sponge when I was sitting in those classes. I did my beginners and my advanced course back to back, and had really great teachers that sucked me in. Yeah, I really, really enjoyed it. By that time, I didn't really have that much money because I was not working while I was traveling. So I was really fighting with my inner self if I should do the master's course. It's a big chunk of money, but it's also a great opportunity because once you do the master's course, you can dive for free for the rest of your life here in this particular place. So it's always a good investment if you want to do it for a bit longer. And then eventually I was like, well, you did this trip just to like do whatever you love. And I found a love in freediving. I was like, well, if you don't do that, what's this all about then? So I decided to come back here.
Isn't that wonderful that we always go back to what vibrates our hearts?
Yeah, it was really important to me. Like I had to tell myself a bunch of times because you already made plans for other places. Like I was supposed to go to Guatemala next, and I already had a picture in my mind for that.
And we're so good in creating doubt in our minds as well, right? We let our minds trick our knowing.
Yeah. So I just kept telling myself, well, what's the point then if you can't enjoy what you want to enjoy? And then put my foot down, and I actually ended up staying on this beautiful island for 6 months in total. Trained a lot, dove a lot, met a ton of people. It's not really only about the sport, especially here in this place. It's about the community. Like I met so many genuine people, and when we're out diving on the buoy, it's we support each other. We give each other tips. There is no competition between us. The only competition we have is with ourselves. So that's something really beautiful because I know all these people and I'm connected with them through Facebook or WhatsApp or whatever. And even if it's been years, anytime we're near a place, we're like, hey, are you around? We're near you. Can we visit? And so far that's only been taking us to a few places, but one of them was the Galapagos Islands, which I never thought I would ever go.
Wow.
It's also the community and not just the pure sport or the hobby.
Right.
That really makes it.
I love that. How did you love Galapagos? Did you were you there during the turtle season? Where they were.
Honestly, I don't know if there is a turtle season or if there's just turtles all the time.
All the time?
I don't know. I don't know. It's one of my favorite travel memories now. So we have this friend there that we met here at Freedive. He's got his own freediving school in Galapagos.
And what's his name?
His name is Jesse.
And what's the dive center?
That's called Apnea Galapagos. And we were just like, hey, we're in Ecuador. Can we visit you? What's the deal? Can you help us out? And he's like, yeah, sure, come by. I'll tell you all the tips and tricks and come dive with me and all of that. So it was really exciting to go there. And it was me, my partner, and another friend that we met here, Adele. And we went all there to visit. And it was incredible. So we saw hammerheads, freediving, and Galapagos sharks and all the turtles everywhere. The sea life was crazy. We swam with sea lions that played with us. Like they nip the tip of your fin and then they expect you to nip theirs. It's like playing catch.
Oh my God, that's so cute.
It was amazing. And they're like,
how magical.
It was, I will never forget that. That was one of my favorite memories, being out there with the sea lions. And you don't even need a boat for that. We just went to one of the beaches in one of the islands and they were all over the place. So that's some unexpected places that it's taken me. Because, if you've ever asked me before, are you going to go to Galapagos one day? I was like, oh, that would be beautiful, but don't think I can afford it. But it was the right time, the right place.
So let me ask you this. How do you make dreams come true? Because clearly, I never thought this was going to happen, and you made it happen. Somehow you manifested it, or you leaned into curiosity, or what is it that triggered you to follow your heart and allow that to vibrate you and create a life that is maybe not the best at times, because there's its challenges, I'm sure, but create a life that really inspires you and inspires others that are in your surrounding and in your community, whether here on Utila Island or otherwise.
It's quite simple actually, but I feel like maybe my German upbringing feeds into that a little bit. It's like a just do it mentality. Like, oh, there's so many people that always dream about things, and I always wanted to do this and that, and I'm just like, yeah, why don't you? Like, when I quit my job and everybody's like, oh, that's so awesome, you go traveling. Back then I was like, well, I don't know if I'm going to be gone for a year or 2 months, or maybe after a week I see it's not the right thing for me, or maybe I end up hating it. So it was never meant to be that long or not. There was no strings attached really, and I just knew that I really wanted to do it, and there was no better time and place than back then. I was like, I'm good to go now, and why wouldn't I? And right now I have tons of time on my hands, and I'm also working.
So what is it that you do to subsist to your needs during travel? That's probably a question that everybody asks themselves, because they're telling themselves, oh, well, I have to be working for a company, or I have to be working for a particular boss or something to be able to just have a job.
There's more of a story around that as well. So when I quit my job, I had money saved, and I wasn't planning on working during my trip. I just wanted to enjoy it. And then when my money was gone, I was like, yeah, I'm just going to go back to work. And again, I really enjoyed my job, so that was nothing I would be dreading. But then when I was here, I also met my partner now, Chris, and
which is Scottish.
He's Scottish, yeah. Right. And he's a software developer, and he was working, so his time was indefinite. And I realized, well, if we want to make this work, I kind of have to earn money somehow, because I was not ready to go home yet. So I didn't necessarily started working for him, but it was definitely a little spark. And I was thinking what to do, because sure, I did love my graphic design job, but if you look at platforms like Fiverr or currently I work on Upwork, the rates are bad because the competition is just too strong, and there's a lot of really low costs people that do a lot of work for very little money, and I just can't offer that, because also in design I have very high standards for myself. That sounds a bit cocky, but I do.
No, it's good to know your own value.
Yeah, right? And if somebody asks me to do a logo for $5, I know that I can't do it.
No, absolutely not.
So I looked into other things I could do, and my English is all right. So I was like, well, I'm going to look into English and German translations. And the first 7 or 8 months were pretty hard. Like, you have to take very, very terribly paid jobs just to get like a reputation on Upwork. That's where I work on. Because in order to get the jobs, you kind of have to have a good score. It pretty much works like a Google review, right?
And to be able to have a good score, you have to have enough jobs in.
Exactly.
Even though it pays shit.
But you do it well, and then eventually you get a good score, and then the clients are more likely to hire you. And now I'm in a good position. I can pretty much decide more or less myself how much I want to work. I got several long-term clients that I've been working with for a few years now. And that's working really well for me, especially staying here is not very expensive. Of course, we go to other countries where prices are a bit higher as well, but that's all right because I kind of like even it out. Or I just work a bit more when I know that I have to. That's fine for me as well. Or when we got locked down in Sri Lanka, for instance, the 4 months where we couldn't even leave the property, I'm so happy. I had a ton of work. So first of all, I could earn a lot of money in that time, and then also I had something to do, which kept my sanity.
So, is there a common denominator to all of these experiences? Is it freediving? Is there something? Is it the ocean? Is it the elements? Is it being out of your comfort zone? Is it being feeling like you are discovering new parts of yourself every time, like all the different archetypes that consist of us, of me, and of you, and of everybody else that we meet that is a mirror of our being
Well,
in some way?
I feel like through that whole time, denominator, maybe sounds cheesy, but maybe nature. I did not know that I loved the mountains until I went to the Andes, and I was always a child of the water. I always loved the ocean. Of course, in Germany, the oceans are not very warm or very calm, um, but that's definitely something that strikes me every time. Every time I see a beautiful sunset over the ocean, or every time I stand in front of a huge mountain and I see the snow caps, I'm just standing there in awe. And
Incredible, right?
yeah, and I love it.
Yeah.
And I mean, I didn't do very many treks in my life, but we were in Patagonia and we did the W Trek, which is apparently one of the most beautiful hiking trails in the world. It was 5 days, and it was a challenge for me because I've never been hiking for several days, like bringing my tent and all of that. I was like, how are we going to keep ourselves busy? But that's such a silly thing to think, because once you do the hike, you realize that you don't really need anything to do except for walking, because you can look around and see something new. And I mean, we saw glaciers and rivers, and um, the weather changes, and yeah, I really love that. And also here, living on this island, you learn a lot about. It sounds silly, but like about clouds and the weather. You look at the sky and you're like, oh, I think it's going to rain in about 5 minutes, and it actually does. And that's something that never happens when you live in the city. You don't really get to know the weather like that.
The regular circadian system of nature.
Exactly.
So, do you ever use any of your breath work that you do for your free diving in your daily life to calm yourself or to give yourself any kind of energy? How has the breath work for free diving and the change in mindset, if there was any, what was it, change your experience of life?
That's a good question. So, for me personally, it's not necessarily about the breath work per se. It's more about what's going on in my head. Because as I started going deeper, there's different strategies you can use for freediving. So you don't think about holding your breath or being under 30 meters of water and all of that, because you don't want to think about that. You want to just like be in that particular moment in time. And I just realized that at some point there is voices, and they tell you things. They tell you that you shouldn't be there, or you should go up, or all of that. And it just taught me, if you put it into real life situations, to sometimes uh, just take a breath and review the situation. If there's a situation showing up that maybe freaks me out, um, and yeah, just take a moment in time to think about it instead of reacting immediately. Because once we start reacting immediately to things, our decisions are not clear. So that helped a lot.
Would you say that helped your clarity of mind in terms of planning your life or living or being present in your life? I should say, not planning your life, because being present is not actually planning, but
I feel I'm a lot more calmer, and I react calmer to situations that would have really freaked me out in the past. And that can be anything. And it's not just freediving itself. It's, again, also the islands. For instance, in August, there were so many power cuts, and people back home can't imagine, like, not having electricity. Also, not having electricity on this island means you don't have running water, because it's all pumped from the ground, right? And it just makes you adapt better. And I think freediving helps a lot with that too. Did you just adapt to a situation? Like when you get this thought in your head, like, oh my God, you're too deep. You have to like go up immediately, and just hold on, adapt, relax, like keep in mind what you're supposed to do instead of reacting in panic, which would not be great. And then see what's happening from there.
So, what are the sensations, or where are the resistance that arise when you're freediving? And what's the impact of overcoming those resistances?
Well, the resistances. Okay, so as you probably learned on your first day, there's the voices in your head, and then eventually there will be contractions.
Yes.
So you might not even have any during this course at all. I sure as hell had a bunch of them in my life. But you learn to live with them. And a lot of people think there's something bad, but they're actually good. Like, they mean that your diving response is kicking in. They just don't necessarily feel very pleasant, especially if they start getting stronger. Because the longer you hold your breath, the stronger your contractions get. But for me, it's just a really good indicator how far am I along in my dive. And I don't give them too much attention per se. Like, I don't freak out because I get them, because I know I will get them. I get them every time, and that's okay. So I just learned to live with them and to have them almost like my friends. Like, I can overcome that. These are fine. They're always here. Oh, hey, they're there again. That's all right. And overcoming that, all of that sensation, like when you have a deep dive, maybe a personal best, maybe you just made it to 30 for the first time, and you come up and you know it was a good dive, like everything went smoothly. It's the most awesome feeling ever. And then all of the people on your buoy, your safety divers, they're happy for you too, because they know you just achieved something that you've been working for a long time.
I just got chills.
Yeah, no, it's awesome. And sometimes it takes weeks or months or years to achieve a new depth, or maybe try out a new discipline, or yeah, you have that goal in your head, and it's only your goal. It's not, oh, somebody else achieved like 50 meters, I want to do that too tomorrow. That's not how it works. Everybody is different, and we need to take it step by step. Like, you really learn to really listen to your body. But again, if I know I'm with my safety divers and with the people on the buoy, we always have fun. We do silly things too. Like, it's not all serious and, oh, we have to reach that depth, or
well, we don't really learn when we are serious, right?
Exactly. And
we learn much better when we're at play.
Yeah, and honestly, on some days we just come up with the most stupid shit, and it's hilarious and it's fun and it's silly, but it's great. Like the other day, I was doing a constant weight dive, we kicking down, but I removed one of my fins and tucked it under my arm. Honestly, I didn't make it very far, but it was just, I really wanted to try it, and then everybody else wanted to try it too. Like, how does that feel? How do you not swim in a circle? Can you do something against that? And yeah, it's great fun. And then once you achieve a goal that you've been working for a long time, as I said, everybody's happy for you. You celebrate together.
So I've learned that the contractions are important, and they help you manage your CO2. And can you give the listeners a little bit of information about that, because you're more familiar with that? I just learned it. So.
That's fine. Well, once we're on a breath hold, our oxygen drops and our CO2 rises. Um, and eventually, every breath held long enough, and I mean really long, and it's going to be really hard, will end in a loss of consciousness. It's not death. Some people say that in the classes, but that's not what's going to happen. So the thing is, once, let me restart that. For our oxygen saturation, there is a very, let's say, rustic sensor in our body. It's literally like a light switch. It's either on or off. On means there's oxygen, off means there is none. So it's not really helpful while we're diving. But our CO2 sensor is really high tech. It's like a sensor in our iPhone. It measures a lot of things. And it has different ways of telling us how far we are. So, as I mentioned before, once our CO2 rises, eventually our mind kicks in and is like, hey, you haven't taken a breath in a while. Maybe it's time. And then you're like, no, this is okay. I'm actually doing this on purpose.
Oh
and then
my God.
those voices get louder. It's a bit like being hungry. Like, okay, maybe I want to eat, but I don't have to. Like, I'm not going to starve immediately. So you can hold it a bit. And then eventually these voices turn into contractions, which is something like your stomach rumbling. People can hear it. And the contractions are something that you can feel. And they're not going to go away until you finish your dive. And they will probably get stronger. And people get them at different times in their dives. Bodies are different. But for me personally, I get them fairly early, but they start really like shallow. They're almost like a heartbeat, like a tiny little hiccup. And so I know, okay, I'm about at this point in time in my dive, which is fine. And then they get stronger and stronger. And they kind of tell me, okay, maybe it's time to get up now. That comes through experience.
So I heard that there was a certain amount of contractions that you could count up to before coming up.
See, I don't really. You could.
That's just one method, right?
It's a method. Yeah,
it's just one method. Right.
So sometimes I do that if I just, let's say I go down to 15 meters and I just want to see how long I can hold out. Like sometimes I just hang there and watch maybe the wreck or some fishes swim by, or maybe it's raining and I look at the surface and I see the droplets, or I hear like the crunching of the fish eating the coral, and it just reminds me of a childhood treat that I used to eat, like the rocky
Yes.
rocky candy, and it just sounds like that. So I just give myself that
Snap,
time.
crackle, pop, right?
Yeah, and then once I can't chill out that much anymore because those contractions getting stronger, I can't ignore them anymore. Sometimes I do count them in batches. Like I count 10, and then I count 3, and I'm like, you can do another 3. You can do another 3, and this goes on and on. But yeah, people have different strategies. I know people that have like 3 contractions in their whole 3-minute dive. By that time, I would probably have 70. But people live through them differently because I have them so often, and they're kind of like my friends. I know how to handle them. That's okay for me. And then for others, people that only have like 5 contractions in their whole dive, maybe they really, really hate it because they can't hold out so long. So yeah, they're just little helpers. If I didn't have a watch, I would kind of know when it would be time. But then, yeah, once again, I never had any hypoxic event whatsoever. But yeah, that comes through experience and time to just get to know yourself better.
So at what depth did you start freediving?
Just like everybody else. I did my 12 meters on the first day and the 21 on the second day. I think I did the 21 on my very last dive because the other 2 guys did it as well, and I didn't want to be the one left behind. Yeah, and then it was just a gradual journey.
Were you scared when you were on that buoy, getting ready, doing your breath warm up?
Yeah, the first few times for sure, because it's all new, it's exciting. You don't want to do anything wrong. But looking back now, I had great instructors, um, and through the whole time, I felt super safe. It was just myself that maybe was applying a little bit of pressure on myself.
So we just got cut off, and my question was, are you scared when you're at the buoy and you're doing your breath work and your breath warm up to be able to take this deep breath and go down to 12 meters or 21 meters for that second dive, right? I'm thinking about it tomorrow morning and I'm like, am I able to do this? This is kind of scary. But how did that go for you? Like that?
Yeah,
I don't know.
So it is scary because you don't know what's coming, and the first few times you put some pressure on yourself and all of that. But then also the breathe up you do, which is around 5 minutes, is made to calm you down. Like that slow breathing, and you kind of like clear your mind before you dive. That's your dive preparation. Um, and it works. And if you're not there yet, you can just keep breathing until you are. But I'm a bit of a go and get it kind of person. So like I don't fuck around too much. I just do things, you know. But yeah, other people need a bit more time to calm down, and that's fine. And then you go and you try, and you see it's actually not rocket science. And you start that internal dialogue of what's happening there, and if you're going to listen to the voices or not.
So how does that internal dialogue happen and translate in your daily life?
All right, so sometimes I have bad days. Everybody has bad days sometimes, right? We go out in the water and I do my first dive, or let's say my third, and I come off and like, oh man, I'm done, this sucks, because it just doesn't want to work. And that's okay. And that translates into real life or the normal daily life as well. Like sometimes you have a bad day, and then you just suck it up and keep going. And if it's a great day, you'll feel that as well. Like if I have a great day diving, I do my warm up and I realize, okay, things are really in place today. This is brilliant. You go for your personal best, and often you don't succeed, and sometimes you do. And it's exactly the same in normal life as well.
Are there routines or habits that you can attest to that help you get in that zone that brings you to have a good day of diving and then start your day of work and whatever else you do in a day?
Well, yeah, I do. Again, everyone is different. I'm a bit of a lazy one, and I love my coffee. Many people say coffee before freediving is not a good idea because it raises your heart rate and all of that stuff. But I'm a coffee junkie, and I've always been, so I need it. And I have tried it out myself to go without, and that didn't work for me at all. So I get up at 6:30. I make my AeroPress medium roast chocolate factory coffee from this island, and then I waddle over here in my bathing suit, and I help out. I ask people how their day's going and if they slept all right, and we have some communication before going on the boat. And that's my preparation. Whereas others, they do stretching in the morning or do some breath work. But again, I'm a person that just jumps right in and starts, and that works really well for me. It's always good to revisit that stuff though, because things can change. That's why I recently tried out without coffee again, and it was terrible again. So I'm not going to do that for the next 6 months, I think.
Good cup of joe, nothing compares.
Yeah, no. And I basically think about nothing these days. I just go and enjoy, and that's that's it.
to dive.
Yeah.
And life, clearly. So I have just a couple more questions. I'm so sorry to take your wonderful, precious time. I wanted to know, how do you feel being a woman in this diving community? Can we talk about that?
Yeah.
I'm not very familiar with that because I have a feeling that that's a thing, right?
So I'm very, very lucky to be good friends with one of the best freedivers in the world, as I think. Sheena Macnally, she's the Canadian women record holder, and the continental record holder for the Americas as well. She was my master's trainer back in the day when I did my master's program. And she comes back here all the time. She just spent a few months on Utila, and I learned a lot from her about that, because sometimes it is a bit difficult, but I don't know. You just have to stand your ground. And sometimes all it takes is a really long hold for your safety diver to give up on you enough to go back down. There's like these tiny little spikes. No, all jokes aside, it's not super difficult. Again, it's a great community. But yeah, sometimes you do have to prove yourself, as it is everywhere as a woman in this world.
How does that translate for you, being in the community for a while now?
Well, I think it's not that hard, actually. So I've been helping out in the shop a lot, and I feel like there's a lot of respect coming towards me because of the things I do, and people see what I'm capable of. And it's not always about the diving, it's just like handling everything else as well. And I think women are pretty good at organizing and keeping people together, and especially the emotional side.
Creating community and having that empathy into listening to others to see what it is that is their concern, to be able to hone in on it and make them comfortable enough, give them space so that they can listen to you and actually be able to do their free dive.
And it's also I've gotten a lot of really beautiful feedback from people that see me dive. Like, of course, I have days where I'm like, oh, I'm like, my diving was not great today, or I'm not happy with what I did and it didn't work out at all. And then afterwards, people come towards me and it's like, oh yeah, I saw you dive. You look so calm. You look so chill. And like, personally, like, I don't think so. But
we're always a little more harsh towards ourselves, I think.
Oh, absolutely. That's something that I learned as well. Yeah. And just getting that feedback is lovely, and I get that from my female fellow freedivers just as well as my male fellow freedivers. Yeah, and honestly, there hasn't been any real incidents at all about that. Like, they see me dive, and then the deed is done. Like, yeah.
Do you ever use the breath work that you use for freediving on a daily basis for your everyday hurdles sometimes? Sometimes those days where you're really low in energy and you're like, fuck, I wish I had more energy. What happened? I've not done one thing and here I am empty on air. And you end up doing the breath work and it just kind of revives you. Have you had those experiences, or have you used it to your benefit in any other way other than diving?
Yes, not too much though. I hope I'm not disappointing you with that answer.
Not at all.
One time I got really cold. I was somewhere in Guatemala next to a river, and I just did a very long breath hold. I did tables, actually. So that's a way of training when you're not in the water, which means that you hold your breath for a certain amount of time, and then you have a decreasing number of seconds to recover, and then do that same breath hold again. And that really heats you up. So I slept like a baby afterwards. So it's more to calm down. Like when I had a really stressful day, it's great to do it before you go to bed because it just tires you and it calms you down. You sleep like a baby.
Because it changes you from sympathetic system to parasympathetic system,
Exactly.
which
It lowers
changes
your heart
the
rate.
way your whole body talks to each other, right?
Yeah. And then, of course, sometimes when we're out and having a beer, we just call a big breath, and everybody's taking a big breath, and we see who can do it the longest. That's
Oh,
the silly
yeah.
side of it again.
Cool.
And that gets
Very
really
cool.
interesting and very competitive sometimes. And it's the most silly situation, so that's great.
Amazing.
Yeah.
Fun, eh? Creative, fun, play, vibration of the heart, and breath that brings life to inspire us and inspire others that surround us. Thank you so much. Have you had the chance to do any scuba diving? And did you do scuba diving before Freedive?
Yes.
Like everybody else?
Well, the first I did my open water dive when I was 16 on holiday with my mom. I think it was our last holiday, and I forced her to pay for something for me to do. So scuba diving it was. Then I had a really, really long break when I didn't do it at all because in Germany there's not really anything you want to go to. But then when I was in Australia, I went back to it. And the reason why I wanted to go to Utila is because I wanted to do my advanced open water, which I never did because eventually, and this might be controversial, I have all the respect for the scuba divers that love it and understand it. Like both of these sports are extremely different in their own way.
And extreme sports as well in their own way.
In their own way. I don't really see freediving as too extreme, to be honest. But yeah, I just figure that whatever I want to do underwater, I can do without a tank. And again, like when we went to Galapagos and other places, I didn't need it, and because we don't produce bubbles, the animals are a bit friendlier, maybe, or more playful. And I mean, my deepest free dive was 50 meters. I'm not sure if I could even do that as an advanced open water diver. So yeah, I can cruise around. I can swim through wrecks, and I can have a look at the fish. Of course, I don't chill down there for like half an hour. I go up and go back down. But for me, that's enough. Especially if I can just strap my fins to the side of my backpack and go.
Yeah, a lot less gear, right? I was talking to some scuba diver colleagues and instructors and dive masters, and they were showing me all their gear and how, sometimes the whole bathroom is only gear. And it costs so much.
Yeah.
And you're using these artificial tanks and breathing apparatus to keep you afloat, which eventually, becomes even more complicated when you're talking about tech, when you're talking about rebreathers, which is very controversial. And then you come into freediving, which is a completely different world, right?
Yeah.
Which is very interesting in experiencing the contrast of scuba diving world and all the different levels and instructors and MSDT and whatnot to freediving, to master freediver. I'm not saying one is better than the other. It's just the simplicity of it kind of reminds me of the detachment that we have to have towards ourselves as the titles that society has put on us. And that detachment not only is represented through, that word, and, and that world of needing so much in the capitalist world that we do live in the consumerist world that we do live in, versus the, it can be simplified, and it can always be simplified. I always tell my clients, for those that don't know, I'm a massage therapist by trade, and I always tell my clients, if this hurts, we don't have to do it. And I do not want your nervous system to go wonkers. So please do let me know. There's always another way, right? There is always another way. Now, it doesn't mean that scuba is better than freediving or freediving is better than scuba. It's a different sport.
Yeah,
and it's a different feeling, right?
Absolutely.
So, yeah, for all those that are very controversial out there, just keep that in mind. But how do you find the change between scuba and freedive?
Yeah, so honestly, I haven't done a scuba dive in a long time, but yeah, as we discussed already, it's just simpler. Like when we go out in the boat, like we have a tiny little skiff, and we fit 16 people max, and we all fit on that boat, and we just grab our fins, our masks, our weight belts, and we good to go. And I mean, of course, we still have gear, and it doesn't mean that it's inexpensive. Like a good freediving wetsuit or good freediving fins cost a fortune.
So what's that little fortune that you're talking about for anybody that's interested in perhaps looking into this?
All right, so I get a tailor-made wetsuit from Italy. There's different companies. I went with Elia's sub because it was recommended to me. It's a two-piece open cell, which means it's a bit sticky inside, but it keeps me warmer, and it honestly feels like a pajama. I love it. That costs about €300, which would be probably like $360, which is fine. It's actually pretty good for a tailor-made suit. But they're like fins. That's a big one because there's many different materials. There's composite materials or carbon fiber, bunch of other stuff. And I did recently buy myself my first pair of carbon fins because I've been diving with plastic, which was fine. Yeah, and they set me back about $700.
So what's the difference between plastic and carbon? Just to get a little technical here for those geeks out there.
Yeah. So the plastic fins are heavier, but they're better for traveling because as I said before, I just strapped them to the sides of my backpack and I didn't worry about them too much. The ones that I have, they're pretty new Cressies. They're actually quite good. They're pretty decent. But with the carbon, you have just a much better energy distribution, and they are supposed to feel like rockets on your feet. Like with the plastics, you have to work pretty hard to get that boost out of your kick, and with the carbon fins or even fiberglass, they just help you out much more.
Mm-hmm.
And I don't know, there's a lot of development and NASA kind of stuff going into that.
So you're using two fins, right?
I'm using the bifins, yeah.
Okay, the bifins. And what other kinds are there?
So there's also the monofin, which is the deepest kind of finning technique. And no fins, self-explanatory, highly complicated to get the technique down properly. It takes a very long time. And
The
it's pretty
keyhole
strict.
technique, right?
Yeah, the keyhole is the keyhole stroke. That's the one you do with your arms. The kick is more like what you know from swimming.
Okay.
But yeah, if you don't have fins on you, like every time I take my fins off and try a no fins dive, which doesn't happen too often, I feel like my legs are a little spaghetti and I don't get anywhere.
Mm-hmm.
So it's kind of a struggle.
Mm-hmm.
But there's people out there who take that very deep, and that's the purest form of freediving because you don't need anything really.
Fantastic.
Yeah.
Fantastic. Thank you so much for doing this at the last minute like this. This
Pleasure.
is always amazing, and it's always interesting to open up a different world to listeners out there that might be interested or curious to learn more about, these techniques or these skills that are somewhat of a dream for some. So yeah, thank you so much. One last thing. What are the most important lessons or insights that you have learned throughout your experiences that would help listeners or your best friend or your sister live a better life
Um,
or experience life better?
Community is everything. Friends are everything. The people who are with you, be it on the buoy or in your life or on the phone or on the other side of the screen, that's really important. And do what you love and don't make excuses, I guess.
Because we always make so many excuses, eh? Thank you so much, Nina. This was fantastic. I will put her Instagram, Facebook links, and translator information in the keynotes. And I wish you a fabulous morning, day, afternoon, evening, and I hope you have a joyous, blissful, blessed, calm, restful moment for yourself. Sayonara.